Want to know the truth? Then you know where to go. She has spent her career exposing the corruption in our system and empowering people. An investigative journalist, podcaster, co-creator of the Department of Government Accountability, and outspoken constitutionalist, the brave and beautiful Ann Vendersteel.
Good afternoon. Great to be with you all. This is about 30 minutes from where I live, so this is a privilege. My good friend Dr. Jane and my co-founder of two organizations that we're working together on, an American Made Foundation and American Made Action, is the beautiful Maureen Steele. She's the beautiful Lakota. She's also very involved in movements around the country. Most notably, you all remember the People's Convoy. Brilliant writer, paralegal, constitutional expert, and just absolutely a wonderful human being. I had a whole presentation planned for you today, and I wanted to go through it, but I decided, listening to everybody, to call an audible because I am kind of a stirrer, and I've listened to everybody. And of course, Shelley's testimony is just heartbreaking. I have 4 family members that are pretty close to end stage from vaccine injury: 2 cancers, 2 turbo cancers, 1 neurology, deprivation, serious, and then cardiovascular. And these are my brothers and sisters and mother-in-law. I just got back from taking care of 1, and I've got a summer of that to look forward to, if you will. We've got to change, and I think that is the resounding opinion of everybody in here. How do we do it? We need solutions, we need on-the-ground action, which is why Maureen and I founded American Made Action, because we have got to take steps. But we have to understand, how did we get here? We talk about the Constitution, and we wave the Constitution around like it means something. Folks, it did, but we're not operating under as a constitutional republic. We are operating under tyranny through U.S. codes. We have U.S. Title this, U.S. Title that. The one that everybody hates the most is Title 26, the Infernal Revenue Service, which was never codified into positive law. So for those of you that don't know, and to our friendly agents at the FBI that are here spying on all of us, putting us on their domestic target list, for which I was on numero uno, Quiet Skies. The great Ivan Rakelin also joined me on that. So did Tulsi Gabbard. Getting to second base with the TSA Weekly was my thrill for several years. But this is what we're living under: tyranny through mandates and statutes. The government is not protecting our rights as codified in our Bill of Rights, which is fundamental to the Bible. God gave man dominion over the land, air, water, LAW. That's it. It's that fundamental. It doesn't have to be complicated with U.S. Code 50, 2150, 2151, and the PrEP Act, which, as Jane Ruby will explain to you, is why we're living through medical tyranny, why they're poisoning our skies and getting away with it, despite the fact that Tennessee passed a law a year ago. They're still spraying the heck out of those people. And they're going to do it here starting July 1st when the ban on spraying our skies goes into effect in Florida, because the federal government doesn't care. They're part of the federal government New World Order global cabal. It's us against them. And what we're doing with American Made Action is we're standing up against the tyranny by organizing at the local level. But Maureen and I have a charge because we believe the future is worth saving. And I think you all would understand when I say the future is in our children, which is under attack. We've had 12 new COVID shots. You've got Robert Malone, the founder, self-proclaimed founder, inventor of mRNA, now on the ACIP committee, which makes no sense to me. And they're all saying how great mRNA is now and it's safe and effective. Well, I call BS on that all day long. Where are these people standing up for us? They all campaigned on it. They all talked on it. They raised millions of dollars on it, but yet they're now kowtowing to it. So again, I tell you, it's them against us. And I declare, we, God's children, we will win this. But we have got to organize ourselves. On the way down here, as I said, I'm calling an audible. Jane and Maureen and I were on a phone call with the Kileys, Scott and Jill Kiley out of Collier County, which is Naples, Florida. Those folks managed to stand up a resolution and get an ordinance passed declaring Collier County the Bill of Rights Sanctuary County, meaning Amendments 1 through 10 is protected. That Bill of Rights, your foundational freedoms as codified, God-given, codified in the Constitution, are protected in Collier County. No COVID mandates, no shots, no masks, no anything from the federal government or the World Economic Forum or the United Nations or the WHO can be imposed upon you if you're a resident. They also managed to get fluoride out of the water in Miami. And this is working at the local level. This is working with your county commissioners. This is massive public outreach and public outcry, the court of public opinion, which is what American-made action is doing. We just spent 10 days up in Massachusetts. And Maureen, we did a movie out in North Carolina, proving not only was, Hurricane Helene man-made, but more importantly, the government was there to rape you and not help you. And so this is what we're doing right now. We are going around the country, but focusing on saving the children through Child Protective Services by cutting off the funding of that Title IV-E, which comes out of Bobby Kennedy's Health and Human Services Social Security Administration, funding billions and billions of dollars to parasitic non-governmental organizations in all 50 states. Again, these agencies exist because they're codified by title, the title U.S. Code. We have got to remove that. Please, I want everybody, if you can, $5 out of your Venmo to this man over here, Mark Lynch, running for Senate in South Carolina, because he understands that the government is not run by U.S. code and by title and by agency. It's run by you, we the people, and that is our elected representatives. We need to get back to that. And by focusing on removal of agencies like Child Protective Services, we will take that template using federal lawsuits, using common law, notices and affidavits, using courts of equity where you can actually get injunctions and actually get a conversation with the judge instead of standing in front of a judge with your representative attorney who is really part of the system and is profiting no matter whether you win or lose. You're going to now fix the system. And this is what we intend to do agency by agency, but starting with our future, the children. It's imperative that we engage at the local level in the county commissions and we start to go in there and say, hey, you're going to pass a bill that says our skies can't be sprayed, but who actually owns the skies? I contend God gave us dominion over the air, which means we do. We now need to put that into trust and make sure that no matter if NASA launches a spaceship from space and decides to drop something on us, if it comes into my breathable space, we go after NASA. We go after whoever it is. If we don't start thinking like this and taking possession back of what God gave us, we're just letting them take it from us. It has to end with us, and it begins by coming together with us. So I know I have limited time. I wanted to just quickly point out, if you could go to the next slide, the areas that we're working on, I was going to cover today. This particular case right here, Fick versus Facebook, was the free speech case that was going before the Supreme Court. American-Made Foundation, Maureen and myself, and our attorney Chris Burns and attorney Peter Tickton put an amicus brief in that case along with two other organizations, one of them General Flynn's, the other David Morgan. No writs of certiorari going before the Supreme Court ever has amicus briefs. It's very rare. This one had 3 because it impacts 350 million Americans. Do you know the Supreme Court, when they went to look at this case, as they reviewed a bunch of cases last Monday, decided that a man who had dreadlocks in prison, who wanted to keep his dreadlocks because it was his free speech religious right to do so as a Rastafarian, was more important than 350 million Americans' right to free speech. This is the state of the corporation of Washington, D.C., where the Supreme Court is a slave to the corporation. We are up against all of it. So I say, do not comply, do not pay attention to what they're saying up there, accept how it impacts you, and then apply the protections of it right in your local county. General Flynn says it every time, local action has a national impact. We need to know what's happening, but we need to apply our resistance down here at the local level. It is absolutely imperative that we do so. If we don't, we just continue to give it away. Your Constitution has been shelved. 3 Martini Nancy Pelosi says it. It's a relic. Let's dust it off, let's bring it out, and let's go to these county commission meetings and let's demand they protect our sovereignty. And let's be smarter than these people, because we are. Don't expect them to fix it. You tell your county commissioner, you work for me. You tell Mark Lynch, you work for me, and he knows it. Dr. Pete Chambers, he's a public servant. That is the mentality what we want in office. We don't want the God complex, which is what we see happening, because it's more of a Satan complex, if anything else. Anyhow, I'm going to cut myself off here because Dr. Jane Ruby has got important information that she needs to relay to you. This lady is incredible, fearless, tireless, and a champion for the people and for the babies. My good friend, Dr. Jane.
All 3 of our kids participated in the Pfizer vaccine trial.
5 days later, she said they were running across the court. Junior just collapsed.
She's screaming, "Mom, Mom, my heart feels like it's being ripped through my neck," like screaming, crying.
She had a 5-minute seizure 2 hours after the vaccine, and then 2 hours after that, she had another 5-minute seizure.
I was quadriplegic for close to 2 months.
Within days, I was horrifically ill.
She would black out. Yeah, go into these rages. It's like I'm not there, someone else is there.
Hey, listen. One of her friends told us that she had gotten the COVID vaccine because we had no idea.
She's in a wheelchair. She can't feel from the waist down. She has an NG tube. She can't eat. She can't swallow.
We had a nurse laugh at us. We had a doctor laugh at us.
Let's call vaccine hesitancy what it really is, willful stupidity.
With those statistics, that if they're accurate, they constitute a signal that there could be a problem with these vaccines.
No.
Okay, and why is that?
I think it's more complicated than
If they don't produce results that sell the vaccine or the drug, that sponsor's not coming back. The 18-year-old healthy daughter, there was nothing wrong with her. She had no comorbidities. She had nothing wrong with her. And she's just gonna die.
They'll block me on Facebook all the time. Twitter, knock me off.
Big tech is basically harassing and intimidating the victim, basically medically gaslighting them by denying the validity of their injuries.
I didn't know about any of this until I was a person in it. I had no idea how bad this was.
It took nothing to be presumed positive for COVID.
Yeah.
But it takes everything to be presumed positive for a vaccine injury.
my kids were healthy. They just wanted their lives back.
This may be the most profound scandal in human history.
This was the answer. This would have halted the pandemic.
I have lost trust in humanity, in my government, in my agencies. Trust is very hard to get back.
Something is going very wrong in this world.
The pharmacists were denying the treatment, which to me is outrageous.
Our generation let this happen. We don't know what to do.